Hey everyone, it's Melissa. Today's video is demonstrating another drugstore foundation that I have always really liked over the years. I meant to do it earlier in the year, but I got distracted with other things, so I wanted to do it today. You know, I love the Lancome stick foundation. I like it because it acts almost like a cream to powder. It goes on like a cream, but it almost dries to a powder, even though it isn't advertised to do that. But that's one reason I like it so much, so it stays really well and looks nice on my skin throughout this hot weather. And there's also one that I demonstrate. I will link it below the video, from Maybelline. It is a mousse foundation, but it also dries as if it has a powder in it. And then the third one that I like really well over the years, I've always liked, is one from Milani. Now, I've used it for a really long time. They changed the packaging, and I think they sort of changed the formula, but it's even better now. I really like it a whole lot. This is the new packaging. It's got, you know, it's clear. Now you can see the color better. Before you couldn't, and it's got black on the outside back. I've got the color 230 light beige, and I think it's a good color for me. You know, it's a little hard on drugstore to see what your color is and to, you know, you can't swatch it. But it has helped some being able to see through what the color is. I'm trying to remember if they've got a good color range. I don't think it's particularly good, and in some places, I got mine at CVS, there were just a few colors left. So, you know, you kind of have to be careful with that, and might need to order from the Milani website itself. But I'm going to show putting it on. I'm really going to put this foundation to the test today. I am cleaning the house, and it takes me a good 4 to 5 hours. I do it all in one day. I like to do it better that way. I just kind of get in the zone and do it. A couple of people have asked me to do a house cleaning video because this house is difficult to clean. It's old, and it's got, you know, it's not set up like a typical modern house. It's got nooks and crannies and closed off rooms, and, you know, it's just difficult to clean. But I don't know how to do it that it wouldn't be so dang boring that y'all would, you know, never want to watch another video again. So I don't know. I don't know. I just can't think of a way to keep it from being boring, you know. Just going from room to room cleaning things, you know, that's what most people do. So I don't know. But anyway, so I'm going to be cleaning. Tomorrow we're having a 4th of July cookout here at the house. And so I'm going to be setting up tables. I've got a grocery shop. I've got to get, you know, my part of the food that I'm preparing, it's potluck, finished. And, you know, I want to do a little decorating outside on the carport, you know, with little red, white, and blue flags and stuff. So I need to go to the store and I need to get that started. Besides cleaning the house, doing laundry, you know, just the things that you do on the weekends or during the week, whenever. And so I'm going to give this foundation a good workout, a real good workout. So I don't know, if I have time, if I think about it and remember, I'll check in during the day. If not, I will check in tonight before I go to bed, and we'll see how it held up. But I'm getting ready to demonstrate how to put it on. I think the best way, I tried it with a damp sponge. I think the best way to put it on is with this little, you know, rubber sponge that comes with it. I don't mind it at all, or your fingers. But if you'd rather not touch it, then I liked this little sponge. I just couldn't get enough on with the damp sponge. I just couldn't, so I liked using this. Okay, so I'm going to show how I put it on. This is a good alternative to the Lancome stick foundation. It is not as good, you know, to me the Lancome is the best. It is not as good, but it is a drugstore option, I think. Even though it is not a stick foundation, it acts like a real pretty one because it dries to a powder. So anyway, I hope you like this, and I will see you all either later in the day or tonight. Okay, it is 4th of July, the next day, and I have a couple of pictures that I took yesterday. The first one is after hours of cleaning. I cleaned about 4.5 hours anyway. And I want to stress, this is a really hard house to clean. I have to move things, I have to get underneath things. There's nicks and crannies, there's corners. The rooms are broken up because it's an old house. So it is a lot of work to clean it. So then I came and took a picture. Oh, and I went to I went to Walmart and wore a mask and then came back and took a picture. So it had worn off around my nose a little bit, but I don't think it was necessarily the mask. I think it was when I clean, I tend to rub my nose because my allergies start bothering me. So I thought that it held up pretty well. The second one's at the end of the day. You can see I'm just about dead looking. I look like death warmed over. I look like I have had it, but I had been asleep. I'd gone through all that and done even more. Been asleep. So it was, I don't judge it too harshly because everything broke down and everything, even my Lancome would have broken down under the circumstances that I put my skin under yesterday. But it is a great foundation. I think there is a market for a cream to powder foundation. So on me, putting a powder over a foundation, it just tends to look real cakey, and then you have to mist it to get it to kind of soften up a little bit. But it goes on as a cream and it dries to that powder, and you do have to fiddle with it a little bit. You have to put it on, and when you first put it on, it doesn't look like it's anything special. But as the minutes go by and it starts drying, then that's when it looks the prettiest, and you can go back in if you need to touch anything up with your little puff or with your fingers and just get it to look look the best that it can. I just think it's a good foundation. It's in my top 5, and like I said, I do think there's a market for it. There's just not a lot of cream to powder foundations out there, and it's a good, for certain skin types, my skin included, especially in the summertime, it's a good option. The best one that I ever had was the Merle Norman, but they discontinued it. This one's close. I tried is it Avene? They had a cream to powder, and I didn't care for it. It was a little too greasy. The Gerda, I can't remember if that's her name or not, she had, Biofond, that foundation, and that was too greasy too. It wasn't a cream to powder, but people had told me it acted like a cream to powder, but it just didn't quite work for me. So there is a market, I think, for this, and there are very few of them out there. So if this is something that you think you might want to try, this one by Milani is a good one to try. Like I said, you have to work with it, give it a chance, but when it dries and sets up after minutes, you have to wait minutes, it just really looks nice, and it holds up well, and it isn't too heavy, but it's got some nice coverage too, and it dries to a pretty finish. So it is definitely one that I think that there is a market for, and if it's something that sounds appealing to you, where you think you might want to try something that dries like a powder, but you don't necessarily want that powdery finish without having to mist it down, then it might be the one to try. I really like it a lot. It's in my top 5, and it was a repurchase for me too, so that shows you how much I like it. So anyway, happy 4th. To those that are celebrating, my fellow Americans that this applies to, I hope you have a blessed weekend, a blessed 4th. Stay safe, and I appreciate you watching. In the next 2 weeks, they're going to be busy, but I'll pop in and out. You'll catch me on Instagram probably every day. I'll pop in and out here, but got to do some childcare help for my daughter these next 2 weeks. So take care, love you all, and have a good week, and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.